Halloween, contraction of All Hallows Eves. I'm about to jump into both feet, both knees, and both elbows into this topic. And I want to welcome you and hello to my show, Searching for Integrity. My name really is John Smith, and I'm searching for people with integrity. Why? Because our country suffers from IDD, integrity deficit disorder. Today, we have the topic of the history of Halloween, classic scary movies, and I'll look into those. And some of the Halloween music has been granted to us. So hopefully you'll be able to see it in the background or listen to it in the background. I'll begin with Halloween contraction of All Hallows Eve, a holiday observed on October 31, the evening before All Saints or All Hallows Day. The celebration marks the day before the Western Christian feast of All Saints and Initiates that decide the seventh season of Hallowtide, which lasts 3 days and concludes with All Souls Day. I didn't know that. What is the true meaning of Halloween? Yes, the Halloween holiday has its roots in its ancient Celtic, I should say, festival of Samhain, a Gaelic word, produced Samhain, a pagan religious celebration to welcome the harvest at the end of summer, when people would light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off the ghosts. I like that. There are two answers to this question, a pagan one and a Christian one. The ancient Gaelic festival of Samhain, which occurred on November 1, but kicked off the evening before, is considered the earliest known root of our secular Halloween traditions. It marked a pivotal time of year when seasons changed, but more importantly, observers also believed the boundary between this world and the next became especially thin, enabling them to connect with the dead. This is also where the history of Halloween giants, Halloween, its haunted connotations. As the etymology of the name suggests, Halloween has Christian roots too. Celebrations of Christian martyrs and saints date back to 4th century Rome. In the early 7th century, Pope Boniface IV put All Saints Day on the calendar, where he dedicated the Pantheon in Rome to the saints, but the day was May 13th. In the next century, Pope Gregory III changed the day to November 1 when he dedicated the chapel to St. Peter's Basilica to the saints. Yet another century later, Pope Gregory IV added all days in the universal Christian calendar, officially extending celebration from Rome to churches everywhere. When the Christian celebration of All Saints' Day on November 1 came All Hallows Eve or Halloween on October 31, as well as All Days, All Souls Day on number 2, a 3-day holiday collectively called Hallowtide. Though largely a secular celebration today, Halloween has both Christian and pagan roots. I didn't know either of that. For this, now I'm looking at myself with this silly hat I got. During the Middle Ages, in the Christian Roman holiday of All Saints' Day spread to other Christianized areas. Hallowtide traditions merged with local cultures in Celtic regions that formerly celebrated Samhain, the local Christian Halloween traditions that rose included jack-o'-lanterns, bonfires, and costumes. Did these local Christian Halloween customs evolve from other pagan traditions? Most scholars agree that they did, though Catholic sources dispute the notion is lacking historic evidence. At the heart of the controversy is the fact that the ancient Celts did not leave written records, though we do have folklore, stories passed down by word of mouth, and artifacts, such as 1st century BCE bronze calendar found in France that references Samhain. Though folklore studies provide context about Samhain for the layperson who is scholar Carolyn Arameric puts it. Those not speak around reading folklore journals from the 1800s. It can be difficult to wrap your head around. Theorizing about the pagan roots of the jack-o'-lantern, which evolved into Irish Christian Halloween costume. Emmerich explained, we arrive at this conclusion not by hard evidence, like a written record, because the inhabitants of Britain did not record things in writing during the pre-Christian era. We assume the pagan origins of folk customs like the jack-o'-lantern by analyzing them within the context and framework in which they are presented in the folklore and the larger folk culture. The early pagan holiday of Samhain involved a lot of ritualistic ceremonies to connect to spirits, as the Celts were polytheistic. While there is a lot of detail known about these celebrations, many believe that Celts celebrated in costume, granted that they were likely as simply as animal hides as a disguise against ghosts, hit jack-o'-lanterns, and enjoy special feasts. Over time, as Christianity took over and the pagan undertones of the holiday were lessened. Some of these words make my tongue work. The Irish custom of lighting jack-o'-lanterns to ward away evil spirits came to have a Christian-themed allegory attached to it. A character named Stingy Jack outsmarts the devil and avoids hell, but his sinful dealings keep his soul out of heaven. Instead, his soul roams the earth, lightening his path with an ember held in a carved radish. Although Christianized, the ghostly element of the story recalls the blurred boundary between the living and dead on the night leading into Samhain. Other mystical rituals of early times involved in more lighthearted fun and games. For example, the Southwest somewhat heavy concept of connecting to the dead was replaced with the more lighthearted idea of telling the future. Bobbing for apples, for example, became popular as a fortune-telling game on All Hallows Eve. Apples would be selected to represent all of women's suitors, and the guy or apple she ended up biting into the wood, would supposedly represent her future husband. Interesting. In fact, Halloween previously posed a huge, albeit rather superstitious matchmaking opportunity for young women in the 19th century. Today, our Halloween holiday traditions continue to evolve. Instead of trick or treating house to house, some deck out their vehicles in spooky tailgate fashion for community trunk or treats, which often held in church or school parking lots. In 2019, popular movement to move the date of Halloween led to the creation of National Trick or Treat Day on the last day of October. However, the Halloween remains on October 31, and now communities celebrate the new National Trick or Treat. If it all depends on local organizers. This year, once again, we'll all be enjoying our favorite candy and admiring our neighbors' decorations on October 31st. And the only spooky spirits we'll be talking about are the witch and the ghost costumes our friends are wearing. Halloween is a holiday that marks the day before the Western Christian feast of All Saints or All Hallows and initiates the season of All Hallows Tide in much of Europe and North America. Celebration of Halloween is largely non-religious. Hey, that's pretty good stuff. Very interesting. Very interesting. Well, I can hear the music in the background. How you like that hat now? I think the more we listen to that music, the more we like it. Okay. Let's see. These are classics. These are classic scary movies. So if you want to see some scary movies, you want to listen to some of the movies that are available. Features Attack of the Giant Leeches, 1959. Earth versus the Spider, 1958. The Day the Earth Stood Still, 1951. The Alligator People, 1959. The Werewolf, 1956. House of the Dark Shadows, 1970. The Night Stalker, 1972. The Night Strangler, 1973. Dracula, 1974. Trilogy of Terror, 1975. Dead of Night, 1977, and The Mephisto Waltz, 1971. Over on TCM, the network will be airing Chamber of Horrors, Freaks, Mad Love, White Zombie, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, The Body Snatcher, The Seventh Victim, Curse of the Demon, The Devil Rides Out, Burn, Witch, Burn, The Devil's Own, 1966, The Concord Worm, Sapricia, Curse of the Crimson Altar. And Plague of the Zombies. I want you to notice that out of all these movies, there's not any. Well, here's some more here. Let me get these out of the way first. Let's see. The Return of Dr. X, Them, The Curse of Frankenstein, 1957, The Thing from Another World, Village of the Damned, The Tingler, The Blob, Curse of the Demon, Horror of Dracula, 1953, House of Wax, The House That Dripped Blood, The Mummy, 1959, and Trick or Treat. To CM is airing Rasputin, The Mad Monk, Taste the Blood of Dracula, Creature from the Black Lagoon, The Invisible Man, 1933, The Black Cat, Frankenstein, 1931, The Bride of the Mark Frankenstein, The Wolf Man, sorry, wrong number, When a Stranger Calls, 1979, Black Sabbath, 1963, Carnival of Souls, 1962, A Night of the Living Dead, 1968, Spider Baby, 1967, and these items have come through. Um, Now, if you have noted, these two batches of scary movies for Halloween, none of these were passed. And when I say passed, we're talking about 1966, 1968, 1977. There are no scary movies for those that like to do the thing on Halloween and enjoy themselves and others. You know, that's something that's really good, really good. But it's interesting that they don't have a, but then these two shows, these two movies go back and find the black and whites so that the people all the color now will look bad. I want to provide you with a 1,000-year-old history of Halloween. I have done that myself. It's quite something, and the parts are all the same as well. And history and its music. Oh, I want to thank everyone for listening to our special Halloween Day. Listeners to find you, and thank you again for listeners for tuning in to Searching for Integrity, and so long and happy trails to all.